This is a North Shore Community Association's podcast, May 14, 2021. Hello, this is Annie Lafrenière, the NSCA Programs and Communications Coordinator.
Hello, this is Evelyn Audie, the Executive Assistant at the North Shore Community Association.
Today, we're interviewing Sarah Bonneau, Industrial Engineer. After the interview, we will present the community events and activities.
My name is Sarah Bonneau. I live in baie-comeau and I am from baie-comeau and I am an industrial engineer.
I'd like to hear how you chose this career and where you went to school to become an industrial engineer, starting from your high school, college, and university, and any other post-secondary studies you may have gone through.
So basically, in high school, I didn't know what I was supposed to do. I didn't know what I liked doing. So I decided to go in Cégep in Sciences en Nature because it was told if you go there, you'll get more doors open and you get more opportunities. So I did that. And once I finished Sciences en Nature, I still didn't know really what I wanted to do, but I wanted to go in helping people. So for me, helping people was a lot to do with health. So I looked around for universities. Universities came to the Cégep and we looked at programs. And there was one program which interested me was kinesiology. So it was how the body moves and helping people move. And so long story short, I finally applied to a program which is medical biology. And because it was this program that, and once again, it was like Sciences en Nature. So open doors, you get your basics, and then you can go through other things. And so I did that. And once I was in university, I realized that I did not like one of those classes. And I was like, I cannot see myself doing this for the rest of my life. And so what happened is I went to an orientation person at the university. And throughout several meetings, we spoke and he said, hey, I hear you and you like talking, you like explaining things and you like math. There's a program that we do at the university, which is it's a bachelor, double bachelor. So you do mathematics bachelor and a secondary teaching. And so what's fun about this is you can teach at the Cégep level after that. So I said, hey, that's excellent. So I went into that. And then for 3 years, I was in this 5-year program. And during my second or third year, I was in this math class and there were only engineering students. They were all guys. I think I was one of 2 girls and I had friends. And one of my friends were like, Sarah, you should really look at the program, industrial engineering. I really see you there. And I said, what are you talking about? Engineering? Forget it. No way. And really, that's not who I am and blah, blah, blah. I took a summer off and I went to New Zealand. And when I got back, I was ready for, hey, I'm going to look what it is. So I went to YouTube. I looked at what industrial engineering was. And I said, hey, oh my goodness, this is me. This is totally me. It fits all of my boxes. And so I went to the program director at the university. I explained it to that. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we can do the switch. Credits, you're going to get credits. And so basically, yeah, I did my industrial engineering bachelor's degree. And after that, I did my master's in industrial engineering. And then that's how, through a friend, that I learned about this career.
Can you explain a little bit of what the career of industrial engineering is?
So the career of an industrial engineer, it's really about the processes. So it's saying, okay, we have a factory, we make things or we do things, but how can we make things go better? So that can be, how do I make more things in the time that I have? How can I increase my quality? How can I make things so it's more safe for people, that it's better for the environment? So it's all about taking something and looking at it and through different tools, understanding what happens and then identifying what types of solutions we could put in to make it better for everybody. So it's really about helping to make things better through the processes that we make. So that's the process. And basically an industrial engineer will work in many, many fields. And because there are processes everywhere. When you come home and you take out something from the fridge and put in the oven to cook, it's a process. You have different steps that you take for a desired result. So then if you say, how can I make this process of putting my dish in the oven quicker, safer? Well, there's this that I could change, this. And then you put these small changes. And what happens is you get a more fulfilling experience sometimes. It's all about the process. So that's what an industrial engineer looks at.
What type of clientele do you work with, and are there multiple fields an industrial engineer can work in?
The type of clientele that I work with usually will be a team manager with a team of people. So it's usually about someone who has an issue that wants to say, hey, I have a problem here, or I think there's something that we can do here to make things better. And then I work with them to see, okay, let's understand the problem. So we measure, we make sure that it's really something that's an issue. And then we work with that manager and with the team to find the best solutions. So my clientele can be from the health sector. It can be with people nurses who do these processes and like, how can we reduce mistakes? How can we reduce the time? And then you can have purely manufacturing processes, which we go, well, we have this product that we want to create. We've got these quality problems. What's happening? How can we make sure that we produce more quality? So then you look at the processes. So in every manufacturer, you have things, and you have even in the whole restaurantation or in any company, you've got processes. So wherever you go, an industrial engineer will have a role to play. But that is to say, not everyone is ready for having industrial engineers. Some industries are more advanced in seeing the benefits, but slowly we're seeing that even though it used to be mostly a manufacturing thing, more and more services are seeing the light and saying, hey, I think we have an advantage of having some from the industrial engineer department.
Can you describe to me what the CEGEP or college experience was like for you, and if you had to go out of town to do your college studies?
So when I finished high school, once again, I went in Sept-Îles because it would open more doors for me. And I'm lucky because in baie-comeau, there is a CEGEP here. I applied to all the CEGEPs, Dawson and whatnot. And financially, it was more responsible for me to stay home. I had a job that I was already having, so I was saving up for university and just, I wanted to get a car eventually, things like that. So staying at home was the best idea. It was close by too. I knew the town and I didn't need to preoccupy myself with rent and with whatever. So it was really a benefit. And so I went to the CEGEP. When I went there, it was a 2-year program, and it went well. There was an adjustment because firstly, the level of courses are different. And it's cool because I realized that I have some strengths and some weaknesses. For instance, math was pretty easy for me. And once I understood how it worked, but then physics, which is a type of math, I didn't get it. And it's okay. Like the teachers were helpful. I remembered my first physics class. I did not pass and I didn't understand why. And my teacher really helped me out. And once, I got help from the people there that helped me figure out what I was supposed to do. And finally, when I got through that first class, because there are 3 physics classes, well, then after that, the teacher saw that I was really, really wanting to get through this and he helped me out a lot. And so in CEGEP, instead of 2 years, I took 3 years because of my physics. I had problem with my physics and whatnot. But all in all, the whole adventure at CEGEP helped me to better understand what I liked and did not like. But it wasn't sufficient for me to understand what really I wanted to do. But it gave me the sense of more of a direction because you need to take choices. And you also, in these classes, I think what was important for me to realize was teachers are actually people and you have to deal with that too. So in high school, you pretty much go to school, you know your teacher, you do your assignments, but you're much more, hey, I need to study now, and not just to please the teacher or just to get my good grades, but because I need that class to go to university, like much more than in high school, and you decide things. So that was pretty interesting. But what I also enjoyed about the CEGEP is, for instance, in the labs, you've got more tools, people that know much more what they're doing. They're specialized. So it's not just a general identity. You can really go deep in some things. Really, that was a great experience for me, CEGEP. Yeah.
What was your university experience like?
So in university, I moved out. It was in Trois-Rivières. So once again, before going to Trois-Rivières, I visited also McGill. But Trois-Rivières for me was a good fit community-wise. And I think that's important. You need to feel good in the town that you're going to live there for the foreseeable future. And and it was also more financially, again, more financially responsible, like cost of living was less. And there was on the site residences, so apartment buildings for the students where you still pay rent, but it's on site. So I wasn't too sure about going to renting a place on my own or with other people. So not knowing anybody too, I rented the place there, which was pretty good for the 2 first years. And after that, I moved out and moved into other apartments. And that was great with people I got to know. For the university experience and the stuff, it was really really interesting because a lot of people and a lot of specialties and, a lot of social possibilities. And I wasn't that social. I'd say I was more interested in understanding what I wanted to do. So that was a big issue for me. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life and what like I said earlier, my career, like what is it that I would like to do? And I wanted to at some point be in podology, which is doctor for the feet, because it was a program that you could do in New York too. And I found that really interesting, but really I was not, my notes weren't high enough and I didn't have the personality for it when I see deep down. But that's what I appreciate about university. You get to discover parts of yourself that you couldn't really discover because one, you're not old enough, and two, you're not living different life situations. And so I had some financial aid from the government, so some bursaries, but mostly some loans. So I worked also part-time during these my university years, just to to be able to live and to also to understand things. And I'm someone that looked forward to getting that autonomy and that independence. Like being on my own was really important for me and something I look forward to. So doing all my own groceries, taking care of my laundry, and something that's funny. In the residences, we had this paying coin machine laundry, and I didn't like it because I had to go downstairs, do my laundry, and then wait, and I had to make sure that nobody else took my stuff out. So that was one of those factors that led me to move out of the residences so that I could have the old laundry dryer there and I could do it whenever I want. So that's one of those things that was really interesting to me, that, hey, I like living on my own and I like doing my own thing. So it helped me to build a better understanding of who I was and also the person that I want to be. So all in all, university was great. And I got lucky because when I changed programs, I met people that were on the same wavelength. That really helped too. Also understanding, having people around that are interested in the same things that you, that live through the same things that you. We all were renting. Some were working, some weren't. We all around the same age group. So, and also a lot of people from different cultures. I had people from Africa. I had people from Europe. I had people, from Quebec too. So all in all, it was a very interesting type of adventure going at university.
Explain to me what a typical day in Sarah's work routine looks like.
So right now it's a bit different than what it should normally be considering the pandemic, but I am lucky. I work with a company that really prioritizes working from home. So basically right now I'm really online. I do a lot of my job online. Usually I would go out, take some measures sometimes, talk with people, analyze data, and do these team meetings or these, it's called des ateliers de travail. So basically I would animate these ateliers de travail with the people, the teams and whatnot. So this is something that I would do in person, but now I'm doing a lot of it online. So we are changing the way we are doing our job. But the fact of the matter is it's a lot about analysis of it's planning, analysis, and a lot of talking to people, my job. So I'm doing this online and eventually going on site and sometimes measuring things, talking to people on the site, understanding what the problems are and also resolving issues with them. So that's what it looks like right now. So I get up, I log on, and then I work through my day. I take my lunch break, and then I work through my day, and then on to life's chores and hobbies.
Is bilingualism important in your field of work?
It is pretty important. It used to be, it's a bit less now because I don't need to actively speak in English. But you see, when I was in university, when I did my master's degree, doing a master's requires you to do some research. So you have a subject and you need to see what else was done. And so a lot of the information is available in English online. So that's pretty much because a lot of authors publish online in English. And that's okay. That's the name of the game. So, but I think I had a head start in understanding what the authors were trying to say. So my research was more easily available. And then when I worked for Alcoa is an English-based company, even though it's in Quebec. So talking to people sometimes from out of the own industry where I was, it really facilitates the communication. And also I could understand better what my colleagues were doing with other projects, and because they were talking in English and they didn't necessarily have the nuance or the subtleties of the English language and how you talk. So that helped a lot. And so right now I'm in Quebec, which is much more French, but still there's a lot of stuff going on in the United States. So understanding that and making links in English sometimes make it much more sense than if I was to translate the information.
What would you have as advice to the young listeners if they are interested in this field of work?
So great question. So I think